Hello everyone, welcome to A Clear Perspective. I'm Serene. Today, let's talk about Biden's new national security initiative called AUKUS. It is between Australia, United Kingdom and the US. After the French ambassador to the United States and Australia was recalled last week on September the 19th, anger in France is still raging. British media revealed how the Australian nuclear submarine program changed suddenly and how the AUKUS alliance was formed. The process is said to be like a spy war novel. Why did France react so strongly? After the official announcement of the AUKUS alliance, almost all media outlets began talking about the impact of Australia's advanced nuclear submarine force and its military implication in the South China Sea and the Taiwan Strait, and whether the Chinese Communist Party will be pressured to take action in the Taiwan Strait. Let's discuss these topics in detail today. On Sunday, September the 19th, Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison said during a briefing, "I don't regret the decision to put Australia's national interest first." Morrison said he understood France's disappointment over the cancellation of the order, but reiterated that Australia must always make decisions in its best interest first. But the French side remains furious. In an interview with France 2, French Foreign Minister criticized the incident, saying, "There has been lying, duplicity, a major breach of trust and contempt. This will not do." French Foreign Minister even threatened that the crisis would affect the definition of NATO's new strategic concept and said Europe must have its own strategic compass. France even implicitly stated that it is ready to leave NATO. But the chairman of the NATO Military Committee, Admiral Robert Bauer, rushed to play down the situation, saying that France's statement will not affect military cooperation within NATO. Meanwhile, a French government spokesman stated on Sunday that French President Macron will speak with Biden in the near future. The call was proposed by the US side, and Macron is expected to ask the US for an explanation on the submarine cooperation. How did the AUKUS and the nuclear submarine pact come about? Leading British newspaper Times has uncovered some of the facts. According to sources in defense and national security circles, Australia secretly planned to turn to the UK and the US in as early as March of this year. Admiral Anthony Radakin, the UK First Sea Lord, was asked by the Australian Chief of Navy whether the British and the Americans could help their ally to build a new fleet of nuclear-powered submarines. Australia made it clear that the submarines that it had agreed to purchase from France would not be fast enough, nor have adequate reconnaissance capabilities to meet the new challenges and ward off the threat posed by the CCP. On his return to the UK, Radakin immediately reported the matter to the Ministry of Defence. The Prime Minister's office then launched Operation Hookless, a covert operation which only 10 people in the UK knew about, including the Prime Minister, the Foreign Secretary, and First Sea Lord. After that, it was the UK that negotiated with the US. Since nuclear technology and materials were involved, the US side spent a lot of time coordinating different units at different levels. The AUKUS project was almost finalized by the three leaders during the G7 summit in June, when Prime Minister Johnson and others quietly promoted Operation Hookless and actively laid out the scope of the cooperation between the UK, US, and Australia to extend beyond the submarine project. According to Navy Lookout, a website focused on British naval developments, the first nuclear-powered submarines in Australian history are expected to outperform the UK's current mainstay nuclear submarines. According to the Times report, it appears that the UK has played a crucial, if not central, role in bringing about the AUKUS alliance. Although France has not directly recalled their ambassador to the UK, they have publicly expressed their dissatisfaction with the UK, including cancelling a meeting of defense ministers scheduled for this week and sarcastically calling the UK an eternal opportunist. The UK has maintained its restraint and did not fight back. Why was the UK actively involved in facilitating the AUKUS alliance? That is, after exiting from the European Union, the UK's overall national strategy underwent a transformation. Using the words of British Prime Minister Johnson, the future of the United Kingdom will be Global Britain. Global Britain was first introduced by then Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson in 2016. To put it simply, Britain is ready to become a major power that can participate in global affairs and have global influence. The focus of major global security affairs in the future is undoubtedly either the South China Sea or the Taiwan Strait. The Britain certainly cannot stay out of it and watch from the sidelines. In July this year, the UK publicly announced that it would permanently deploy 2 warships in the Indo-Pacific region. Shortly after, the UK's carrier strike group, led by aircraft carrier Queen Elizabeth, was sent to the Indo-Pacific region in September to hold joint exercises with Japan. In other words, after Brexit, the UK's national strategic positioning has clearly diverged from the EU. In contrast, French President Macron has taken an almost careless approach to the threat of the Chinese Communist Party. Speaking to reporters at the NATO summit in June, Macron downplayed NATO's wording in declaring China a global security challenge. He claimed that China is both a competitor and a major power with which we are working on global issues to move forward together. He also said they should not have a bias against their relationship with China and must not divert us from the heart of NATO's tasks. So, Macron's attitude is the CCP is not a threat and can even be a target of cooperation. NATO's core mission is to guard against Russia. There is no need to border against Asia. In fact, the other leader of the EU, Germany, under Angela Merkel, has basically the same attitude. This is one of the important reasons why such a major event as the AUKUS alliance was kept a secret from France and the EU as it developed covertly. It highlights that the United States is not optimistic about France and Germany on their attitudes towards the Chinese Communist Party. The reason is simple. France and Germany have always wanted to be ambiguous with the CCP. The US downplays France and Germany the same way it downplays Canada and the pro-communist New Zealand, turning the Five Eyes alliance into a de facto Three Eyes. In other words, countries such as the United States and Australia have been on the front line of the fierce confrontation with the CCP. Their perception and experience of the seriousness of the CCP threat greatly differ from countries such as France and Germany, which are still hoping to get a little economic benefit from the communist regime. Britain keenly recognized this gap and decided that it was an opportunity for Britain to become a global power. This is the root cause and the origin of the rapid formation of the AUKUS alliance. From here, we can see the United States, Britain, and Australia have decided that if there is a new world war in the future, then the outbreak must be in the Indo-Pacific. The opponent must be the CCP. Public opinion about AUKUS is now focused on the first export of U.S. nuclear submarine technology in 50 years, and that Australia can now share the defense of the South China Sea. But in fact, the geopolitical significance of the AUKUS alliance goes far beyond these 2 points. This three-nation alliance is a clear commitment to the security and the defense of the Indo-Pacific region. If a military crisis breaks out in the future, this alliance will undoubtedly become the first line of defense to maintain order in those regions. In this way, a very interesting conflict arises. The CCP sees a future battle in the Taiwan Strait or the South China Sea as an important step to achieve its global influence, as does the AUKUS alliance. The US sees it as a key battle to prove its status as a beacon of democracy. The UK sees it as a battle to realize its strategic vision of global Britain. And Australia sees it as a key to move from being an ordinary developed country to a regional power. In a word, everyone sees this as an opportunity, and everyone wants to turn a crisis into an opportunity. I believe this is something that the Chinese Communist Party did not expect. The CCP has been very proudly advocating that its 100-year anniversary is an opportunity for the Communist Party to rise. They did not expect that this would also be an opportunity for other countries. France was frustrated this time because it found itself as a member of the P5 excluded from the center of the world by the United States, implying it is not even as trusted as Australia. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time.